All right. I was raised during the 60s and early 70s. And my mom, like most families back then, she ran the household, but my dad ran the family. And he did so with a dry wit, a firm hand, and an occasional foot in the ass when called for it. He taught me a very strong work ethic early in my life. I remember I was around 11, 12 years old. He came into the house. I just finished lunch. He looked at me and said, "Boy," he said, "how would you like to be a pilot?" I said, "A pilot? Yeah, I'd love to be a pilot." He said, "Good. Just dumped a load of firewood out by the shed. Go out there and pilot." He used the same principle on me with hay bales during the summer. In those summer days, hay are usually hotter than 2 rats screwing in a wool sock. I'd be in the back of my old man's pickup truck, sweating like a hairy ox. Sooner or later, he'd come up to the tailgate and real gently set a bale on the tailgate, and he'd say, "Careful, boy, this here's a tender one." Now, as the pilot on the truck, I knew that when my dad said a bale was tender, it meant that it was a large, hay-filled slinky that I had to get into the truck and into the barn without busting. Because if I broke a bale, oh, look out. He'd get after me. He'd say something like, "You must have yanked on the strings." Or more likely, he'd say, "You must have horsed it." You see, horsing it was one of his favorites because it was just so damn versatile. You could horse just about anything. From a fish on a line to a lawnmower, I was once accused of horsing a potato hook. And spearing a potato with your potato hook was right up there with bale busting. Of course, the old man, he could break a bale and wouldn't bat an eye. He'd say something like, That knotter on the baler must need greasing. Bale just broke on me. Like he was a victim of some great grease-whoring conspiracy cooked up by the baler. And he could spear a potato and wouldn't miss a beat. He'd just give it a disgusted look as he'd take it off his hook and must have been one that grew outside the hill. Like it was some renegade mongrel potato and it deserved a good spearing. Of course, this was the same man that would chase us kids around the supper table with a big spoonful of horseradish. You see, it was his brand of entertainment that he knew he could get away with because he was the head honcho of the family, and he ruled with supreme authority. Now, you see, as his kids, we felt that it was our sworn duty to evade, elude, and otherwise circumvent that authority. Especially as we became teenagers. Well, I'll tell you, trying to outsmart my old man was like trying to sneak sunrise past a rooster. Now, my older siblings, they always thought that I had it easy, because they wore him down. Well, I just said, "Screw you." I said, "You made it tougher because you sharpened his senses with repeated practice." I think it was a slight advantage, though. I was the youngest of 6 kids, and I got to watch the often feeble attempts of my older siblings trying to outwit my dad. It was almost like watching game tapes of an opponent you'd be facing later in the season. Now, the greatest deception ever pulled against my old man occurred in the summer of 1973 when I turned 16, got my driver's license. Now, you see, I didn't just see it as a license to drive. I saw it as a license to park with a girl. And I had one of those. All I needed was a good, secluded spot to do so. And I found one by using our deer camp driveway about 12 miles away. And for a while, things were great. I was happier than a woodchuck in soft dirt. But you see, I got greedy. I got to thinking, wouldn't it be nice to go inside the camp? And you see, it was this greed, this randy desire, that allowed my little head to start doing the thinking. Because there was only one key that I knew of to that camp, and it was in a place that no kid had ever gone before. The wallet of my old man, which for all practical purposes was pretty much glued right to his ass. However, my motivation was substantial. So I devised a plan. My surveillance revealed that on most weekends, my parents would go out at least once, and this would require my old man to, as he so elegantly put it, shit, shave, shower, and shampoo. Now, he would always perform this ritual in the downstairs basement bathroom. However, he would leave his wallet upstairs on the bureau next to the bed. Now, being a creature of habit, he would always faithfully, before he would step under that shower head, he would scream at the top of his lungs, "Going in!" You see, this was to ward off any upstairs toilet flushers and avoid being scalded like a pig. And on that fateful night, it was also my secret battle cry, because I was going in. I snuck into my parents' bedroom like James Bond going for the microfilm. I'm standing in that bureau, I'm staring at that wallet there, and as I reach for it, I notice my hand is shaking like a 50-cent ladder. I pick up the wallet, take the key out of it, place it in my pocket, replace the wallet perfectly, leave the bedroom. Jump in my car, blast up to the hardware store, have a key made, jump in my car, blast back, and as I'm walking down the hallway to my parents' bedroom, I can hear my father's footsteps coming up the stairs. I missed my chance, missed my opportunity. Because you see, if I don't replace that key before he goes up to camp again, my goose is cooked. It wasn't only about a week before a game warden had spotted my car parked at camp, and he'd call my dad with my plate number, and I'd lied my way out of it. But don't you see, if that key comes up missing, he's smart enough to connect the dots. So I'm praying to whatever horny teenage boy gods I hope exist in this world to come to my aid. And I bided my time, and I waited. More importantly, I didn't horse it. And a few weeks later, I not only restored that key, but also my faith in the power of prayer. Amen, brothers and sisters. Thank you.